So in this recording, I wanted to go back to what I was saying about New Age spirituality because I think that a lot of people are starting to believe in that. A lot of people are starting to kind of feel like that is the truth, and I think it's kind of associated with Buddhism. It's kind of like they took Buddhism and mixed it with Christianity and kind of like came up with like a hybrid belief system. So like and the philosophies behind it closely mirror biblical philosophy. So it's really confusing when you're trying to understand exactly the point they're making, but I feel like it's worth bringing up, like it's worth talking about in detail. So I don't really like going after other belief systems. I don't really like going after belief systems. Like I don't want to attack anybody's faith or belief in something. What I generally try to do is kind of just make points that people should take in consideration before they hop on to a belief system. So like I can't prove 100% that what I believe is true, and I don't really feel the need to do that honestly. It works for me, but at the same time, like I do have a duty to sort of I don't know, to spread the gospel. I guess you would call it that. So I think the idea is that extraterrestrials have come to Earth to enlighten us, and that they're going to bring about some sort of change, and we represent them or something along those lines. Which, in theory, sounds pretty noble and good and all that, right? So the problem with this theory is that people don't really want anything telling them what to do or controlling them in any way. That was the problem that they had with God. And God has been wrestling with humanity over this since, we fell, essentially, and were exiled from the Garden of Eden. So if extraterrestrials come here and try to enlighten us, we're going to just reject them. And at some point, we're just going to have contempt towards them because that's how we are as a species. Like we don't want anything telling us what to do. We're going to fight it. We're just going to fight it. If they come to Earth and they're anything except for mirror images of us, they literally have to be exactly like us. We're going to fight them. It's going to become political. We're going to argue with them. We're going to just be like, we hate what you're saying. You're saying we can't do this. I want to do this. And you saying we shouldn't. It's going to become a political beehive. It's just how we are. It's just how we are. I was like, so people like there are people who I respect, and they are just like, these extraterrestrials are real and they're going to change everything. And I'm thinking to myself, how are they going to change everything? We're going to reject their message. Enough of us will. We're going to be like, oh, they said we can't do this, or we say we have to do this. And it's going to become political. We're going to just argue with them. We're going to fight with them. We're going to want to do what we want to do. And if they tell us that we can't do it or shouldn't do it, they're going to become the enemy. It's just how humans are. Like they're going to become the enemy. We're going to be like, oh man, we're not supposed to do this. And they're going to be like, well, I want to do this. And it's going to just become a political beehive that is just going to just break off the tree and splatter open, and bees and they're going to be flying around everywhere, stinging everybody. I just don't see how the extraterrestrials could possibly do that, without it becoming political, without there being so much pushback. So like, even if you were to replace God with extraterrestrials, we're gonna fight. We're gonna fight back. The extraterrestrials have to just be like, we're exactly like you, and everything about us is exactly like you. And if they try to change us, believe me when I tell you, there's gonna be major pushback. Like, we don't want it. We're just not gonna change. We're not going to change. Nothing is going to force us to change. Nothing is going to come along and be like, I'm all advanced and everything, without using might or without using force. We do not change without using force. Like, if you were going to change humans, you would have to use force. Like, how do the New Age people, I never asked them directly, but how do you think the extraterrestrials change everything without using force? I just want you to think about this. like if they sent some sort of emissary, and I think they call them star seeds, if they send these people, it would basically be the same situation we have now, where we would have some really friendly, nice people who would support them. But did they really need to come down here if these already nice people were backing them? Because they were going to be nice regardless, because it was in them to be nice. So they would gravitate towards the extraterrestrials, fair enough. But the people who did not want to accept anything nice is not going to just say, well, the alien came down here and said we have to be nice, so we're going to be nice. They're going to fight it, and they're just going to fight it. Like, it's how it is. It's how it is. So for people, and it's not like I want to be hateful. I'm simply saying that I think that there's so much deception that people are not really being critical. They're not thinking about these things critically. Like, they're just hopping on board because it sounds like there's a really great idea, and I think in a lot of ways I think they're being deceived. So in the last recording, the Christian vlog that I made, I said that I think people are being deceived. So like, if you want to sort through the deceptions, you have to be critical about it. I mean, you have to think critically. You have to say, okay, well, if I believe that these people are star seeds or whatever and they came to Earth to do all these things, how are they going to change anything? The only people who are going to support them are the people who are good people anyhow. They're already good people. They were already good people. Like, these would be people who already were good people and they would support them. You think bad people, like the people who are the actual problem, are going to be like, oh, by the way, a starseed came down here, so I guess we got to behave now. They're going to be like, well, why the hell do we have to behave? Unless they're using force. But then again, if they were using force, they really wouldn't have to represent anything. They just come down here with a starship and start quantum torpedoing us, and we're just going to bow knee. I just don't understand that. So, like, if the people believe that, I think they have to explain it better, I think is the point I'm making. Like, because I don't understand. Like, these people, they don't care. They don't care whether it's God, aliens, they do not care. They are not going to give up their good deal in life for anybody. So like, if the extraterrestrials come down, then they have to be on our team and just playing ball the way we want them to, or they have to use force, or just show that, you know, they have a starship and they can kill everybody if we don't play ball. So it would automatically come back to force having to be applied in order for change to come about. So I don't really understand, like, fully their beliefs in extraterrestrials coming here, how that changes things or how that helps people. Because I kind of feel like the people who are into that, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I just think that there would be so many people who just didn't care and we're going to do things their way regardless, because humans are not really the type of species that just, you know, I don't know. Like, we've been fighting God for a very long time. I think, you know, and I don't really see the difference between extraterrestrials and God, you know, as far as just control over people. So I'm kind of curious about that. But I just thought I'd mention that because I think there are a lot of holes in this theory, the New Age stuff. So with that said, let me go ahead and close.